Oh the horror. I'm Fedora. And honestly, what is so hard about making an internet-based horror movie? Absolutely no one can seem to get it right. A classic case in point being today's review. The 8th entry in the Halloween franchise, Halloween Resurrection. But before I get into it, I have to explain a bit more.
First of all, forget about Halloweens 4, 5 and 6, because according to the story, they no longer exist. Entry 7 in the series, Halloween H2O, picks up 20 years after the first movie and focuses on our original heroine, Loree Strode, living under witness protection as a school principal with her son John. The shit hits the fan when Michael locates Loree and comes after her. And while I do like the character development of our heroine in this movie, it was inevitably a big flop. The climax is at the end, where after Michael's supposed defeat, Loree steals his body in an ambulance and drives out into the woods. Where after a quick fight, Michael is finished for good via decapitation.
But Fedora, if Michael was killed in that movie, how can there be another Halloween? Get ready to find out.
We start off, rather appropriately, in the mental hospital, where Halloween veteran Loree Strode has spent the last few years since H2O. Then we get some exposition from a couple of nurses on the cheap and lazy way the writers managed to get themselves out of Michael's death.
Oh my god, she killed the wrong person. Father of 3.
With that weak as shit explanation out of the way, Michael makes his appearance at the mental hospital and breaks in to finish Loree off. Before reaching Loree, however, let's have a quick example of some of the shit we're in for. Look at this moron security guard in this brightly lit room, not noticing his partner's headless corpse until he trips over it. Anyway, up to Loree's room, and after Michael carefully sneaks in, he approaches the incredibly sound asleep Loree and is about to strike her dead when Michael chases Loree up to the rooftop, but is caught in a Looney Tunes style rope trap, suspended off the edge of the building, and Loree starts slicing the rope. Because, despite all the other times Michael was dropped from a high place, I'm sure this time it'll definitely kill him. Unfortunately, plot convenience demands a moment of sheer stupidity from our heroine.
I just have to be sure.
Yes, because it could have been any one of those 7-foot-tall guys who relentlessly chase you through hallways, smash down security doors with ease, and carry blood-soaked butcher's knives.
So, obviously, Loree pays for this blonde moment with her life.
I'll see you in hell.
Incest in the morning. Suppressed memories. 97.1.
So, with his life's goal now complete, Michael just buggers off home to, I don't know, play Xbox or something. Speaking of his home, we zip over to Haddonfield, which now has a university in it. That's nice. We're introduced to the Mary Sue cardboard cutout, which is now our main heroine, Sarah, who, along with her friends Cliché Blonde and Cliché Black Guy, are selected as cast members on a Big Brother-style web show called Dangertainment.
Sounds like something Bear Grylls would host.
Unsure if she wants to even be part of this weird show, Sarah emails her MSN buddy / boyfriend. You know, I have no idea who the hell this guy is. He's some douche in her friends list named Miles.
Although she only knows him by his screen name, which is, Dickhead?
Deckard.
Right, sorry.
Anyway, his only purpose in this movie is to be the Colonel to her Solid Snake.
Huh. Hell with you.
I'm sorry.
Deciding she's going to go for it, that night Sarah mopeds over to the Dangertainment studio to meet up with her friends and the show's host, named Freddie.
You 6 have been selected to explore America's worst nightmare. Tomorrow night, Halloween, live in front of the whole entire internet universe. You 6 will enter the birthplace of evil in its purest form. The childhood home of our most brutal mass murderer, Michael Myers.
Oh god, it's Busta Rhymes. Well, looks like this movie's suffering from a severe case of Raparot.
Raparot, a serious condition that affects a movie once a rap artist has been introduced as a substitute actor. This condition causes serious deterioration of all levels of enjoyment once the actor has been introduced. Past victims of this condition include Deep Blue Sea with LL Cool J, Triple X2 with Ice Cube, and pretty much anything Vanilla Ice has been involved with, including his music. In closing, if you think Raparot is not a serious threat, ask yourself, do you want to ever see something like this again? Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. During the interviewing process of the show, we get to meet the other 3 contestants / corpses, which include a red-headed ball breaker.
I'm interested in how Michael Myers embodies the politics of violence.
That chick from American Pie.
I just want to say that Michael Myers is not just a man behind a mask.
And this thing.
He is the great white shark of our unconscious. He is the dark-eyed child of our spirits. He's the little voice that whispers to us to strangle the old lady taking too long at the checkout counter. Get to know him, baby. He's you.
Well, shit. How about that?
And finally, we get an equipment rundown of all the stuff the kids will be using inside the Myers house, including head-mounted cameras and a dozen or so more cameras inside the house itself, all of which have absolutely horrendous quality. So bad, in fact, that Tyra Banks here doesn't even see her assistant being murdered on the monitor right in front of her.
No, there was this Firebird parked right in front of the house, like just totally about to ruin the establishing shot.
Turn around.
Call the tow truck.
Turn around.
Yep, it's on its way.
Turn around.
All right.
And he's gone.
Look at you, Charlie. It's a nice angle, boy.
A few hours later, and the Scooby Squad finally arrives and enters the Myers house to begin the Dangertainment show.
Tonight on Dangertainment, the kids walk around the house for a while looking at coloring books. Then we spend another half hour of the movie talking about a high chair. And finally, some quirky and zany flirting attempts which end in being shot down.
You know, Donna, you got great legs. What time do they open? That'd be 1 o'clock.
Tonight on Dangertainment. This shit takes up an hour of the movie and is about as entertaining as afternoon tea with your grandparents.
And I'm not kidding. There's really nothing to make fun of at this point because nothing is happening.
Everyone spends all their time walking around gawking at shit.
Screw this. What's Dickhead doing?
Oh, he's watching them at a party. Oh, Christ, this is even more boring. Fuck it, go back to Big Brother.
You watch. You watch.
Oh God, this is so boring! This is usually the point in a Halloween film where the plot and characters would start forming together. But there is no plot to this simplified teenage drabble. And as for the characters...
Besides, screwing a music major would be tantamount to lesbianism.
I could get into that.
After what feels like 900 years and 10 bottles of Ritalin to stay awake, things finally start happening when American Pie Girl is slashed to pieces. And of course, despite this place having more video cameras in it than a hotel restroom, nobody notices. We then fly over to the Cockblock duo, climbing into some kind of cellar full of slime and chains. and decide that this is the perfect place to make out.
Arms here, get your arms. Delicious arms right off the oven, heads, rib cages, we got it all, everybody.
But don't get too excited by this, as it turns out that all these limbs are fakes. In fact, everything slightly freaky that they found so far in this house has all been planted by Busta Rhymes in order to make his show more entertaining.
It's not working.
Before leaving the cellar, Redhead finds a tunnel in the fake corpse hole that leads to a secret room, where it appears that Michael Myers has been living all this time. Michael then appears and chases her down the tunnel for a little bit before skewing her on a gatepost. Amazingly, people actually see this murder happen, but of course, they all think that it's acting. Michael then reappears behind Sarah and grabs her, only to be beaten down by the strange punk rocker guy. Unfortunately, it turns out that this isn't Michael, it's in fact Busta Rhymes in a mask, trying to scare them.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Damn, man. You hit me like I murdered your fucking mother or something.
Well, you know, you did just kind of jump out of nowhere. Wait a second. What was your plan just now? Were you just gonna hold her? Were you actually gonna kill her? Did you think any of that through?
What am I talking about? This is the guy who made a web series that relies entirely on the cast stumbling upon all of his weird rigged areas and poorly made prosthetics, and just hoping to God they don't burst out into laughter after realizing how obviously fake everything is.
God damn. What the hell somebody gotta do to get a little decent help up in this motherfucker?
So Michael finally reappears, and at last we get some action. Blondie gets decapitated, Punk Rocker gets that oh so strange brain of his crushed like an egg, and finally, Sarah runs away, leaving her other friend of many years to be repeatedly stabbed to death.
Somebody out there, please help us. Somebody please help us.
She really is a very talented actress.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
After finally realizing this shit be real, Dickhead...
Decker!
Right, sorry. Gets in contact with Sarah via messenger, and leads her to an open window. Oh good, now she can just jump down and finally escape. What are you doing?
You know what? You've made so little impression on me, even among this sea of drab and emotionless actors, you deserve to fucking die.
But Michael doesn't have time to worry about Sarah, as he's bumped into Busta Rhymes, who's suddenly decided that he'd rather be Chuck Norris.
Wanna fuck with me? Huh? Fucker? Let's get out of here.
Hey, no hard feelings about being the reason all your friends are dead, right? No time for lawsuits right now, as Michael suddenly reappears behind the two, stabs Buster, and chases Sarah into the recording station.
And this is for me!
After chainsawing through some wires and not electrocuting herself, Sarah accidentally sets the shed on fire, trapping herself inside.
Oh no! If only there was a character returning from the dead, spouting some cheeseball line that they can use in the movie's trailer!
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
That'll do nicely.
After a short-lived stint as the hero, Busta Rhymes shoves a power cable into Michael's junk and makes him stumble back into some cables, frying himself to a crisp.
Hey, Mikey! Happy fucking Halloween!
Yes, you're very witty. Now piss off! The two finally escape the now burnt-down Myers house, and as a result, the police and press promptly arrive.
Excuse me, how does it feel now that it's all over?
What makes you so sure it's over?
Excuse me. No more cameras. Dangertainment is off the air. I'll just show some respect.
Okay, now, I know you're not just about to give a big emotional speech about how commercializing the brutal acts of a serial killer is wrong, because your entire web show was all about commercializing the acts of a brutal serial killer, and that would of course would make you a tremendous hypocrite.
Michael Myers is not a soundbite, a spin-off, tie-in.
So this travesty finally ends in the morgue, where Michael's toasted corpse is brought in and oh so predictably comes back to life.
And that was, with tremendous relief, the end of Halloween Resurrection.
My god, this movie is boring. You literally sit around for an hour before anything interesting starts happening, and when it finally does, it's so poorly executed that you just don't care anymore. And the acting. Jesus. I've seen bad before, but this is a league of its own. Even Michael's performance is garbage. You know, it's times like these when I really appreciate the work of people like Kane Hodder, in these silent kinds of roles anyway. At least he makes it look natural. This guy moves like a fucking robot! All in all, this was, by a long shot, the worst movie in the entire Halloween franchise.
After this, of course, we got the infamous Rob Zombie remakes. And while I sort of promised myself I wouldn't review more than 3 entries to a single franchise, I can pretty much sum up my thoughts on them with this clip.
Fuck! 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 Fuck!
Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck!
And with that, I'm Fedora, this is Oh the Horror. Save a scream from me, we'll see you next time.